Welcome back to my den, everyone. This is going to be kind of a catch-up video of pickups I forgot to show before or just got in. I mentioned this in the last video or two. I've actually recorded this one a few times, so hopefully I'm not repeating myself from ones that have actually gone up. I've had some really bad luck with customs lately, and so some stuff's come in while I was waiting on others, and it's an endless cycle of you order something so you figure you'll wait, but then that gets held up. You find something else so you'll wait for that. And so I figured I'd just catch everything up here because I'm waiting on a really big package to come in, and that's when I'll show off a system I bought recently. Let me go ahead and grab this. So I'll just kind of catch up everything here, in case someone wants to see some gameplay footage of it, to talk about it. I do a lot of my chatting on Facebook now, but I enjoy the comment section and all that. So if anything piques your interest, just let me know. Or if you want to see footage of anything, I'm thinking about doing footage kind of on a system, like a themed by system. So recently I did one of, where'd I put it here? Here we go. I did about 20 minutes on the 3DO Sampler 3. I also have the 4th CD sampler. I would like to get the first two because I've already showed one called Sample This. And when I do that, I think I'll have footage of every 3DO sampler as demo tours. So I'll be doing the 4th one soon. I have some footage of another 3DO game I'll put up shortly. That's just kind of what I have hooked up right now. It's next to a Saturn and a PlayStation 1, so I can swap between those. I use an Elgato. It's easy to switch. But yeah, like I said, just to get some chatting going on. And, I've heard some people before mention some people do or don't like prices mentioned in videos. I was talking to Owen about this, Lobosu77, and we would do it really just to give people a bearing of what they can get it for. I might have mentioned this before, but basically I have no retro stores anywhere around me. So this is just to let people know if they're interested in what I have, this is about what they can find it for. And yeah, that's really it. It's just an interesting way. When you don't have access to a lot of retro stores, you're limited to eBay and forums, and it's tricky. So a lot of times people just use buy it now. So to help you not overpay, basically, I can show you what I got it for and what you can kind of gauge that as if you want to go a little bit under or below or what you can find it for. Anyway, moving on. The first thing, it's only not gaming related. My brother called me and said to go check my front door, because he had ordered this too. I completely forgot about this. I put my money in for it months ago. It's the re-release of Nightbreed. I haven't watched this yet because it is very, very long. It's put out by Shout Factory. It was a 10,000 run, and I believe Clive Barker put out a few more, like 5,000 or 10,000 more. I'm not sure, but this is the part of the first 10,000 run. It is very long with a bunch of extra features. Now, I really like the show or the movie. Clive Barker is my favorite fiction writer. So I am looking forward to seeing this, but I want to see this in one sitting. So I'm probably going to watch it this weekend. My wife's going to a Po' Boy festival out of town, and she'll be gone overnight, so I'll have enough time to do that. I don't want to split that up. And two kind of asides here. I had shown these before, protective cases. I've been getting them from my long boxes now, which is a great idea for PlayStation 1s. I completely forgot about how tricky these are. So I got a few more of those, and I got these nice little bags. The same guy that sells the protective cases sells 25 bundles or 25 bag bundles, like $4 or $5. These are supposed to be for Super Nintendo and N64, but as you can see, it fits Jaguar just fine. It has a little resealable thing at the back, and I really like these because when I was trying to put in some of my Super Nintendo games, the cardboard kept coming real close to bending the manuals. So I actually tried to make my own bags just out of, bags I've gotten with instruction manuals, and I couldn't do it, so I was really happy to find these. So with these, the corners are maintained. You're not going to get any bends, any dents. It'll keep them flat. So great idea. Really enjoying those. Let's see here. It's going to be a little bit of everything, really. I've been playing this recently, Tales of Hearts R. It wasn't really difficult until a couple hours in. I got to a boss, and suddenly the difficulty jumped up. But after a few attempts, I beat it. But when you're going in between bosses, it's not that tough. Of course, it's got a fun and fast combat system. Always enjoy that. The characters aren't very memorable, like in Tales of Xillia, the first one. But I've actually laughed a lot at the slapstick, which I normally don't find funny, but especially when the main character gets drop kicked twice after he meets like the initial cast. So I don't know why I really thought that was funny. But so far, a nice breezy role-playing game. There's a guy in here who talks like he's from the 70s. He calls everyone hip cats and stuff, which is strange. But you know, Tales game, you kind of know what to expect. Actually, Tales of Dawn of what Symphonia was not great. So sometimes you do get a dud. But so far, this has been a lot of fun. Another handheld game I got in, which I was really excited for, is Street Fighter Alpha. I do have a Game Boy player on my GameCube, so I am definitely going to be doing a gameplay video of this. I just got to go hook up the GameCube itself. Everything's, got to find the power adapter and everything. And speaking of which, there's someone on eBay selling SCART cables for GameCube, Super Nintendo, and N64 for 20 bucks. All you need is a little $40 adapter to run from SCART to, I think it's HDMI. I have one of those for my Saturn. So I've grabbed one of those. It's still on its way, and I can't wait to try that out. It should look great. Everyone said this seller is the best, and normally you have to pay $60 to $80 for those, but it's 20 bucks. But yeah, I was able to get this complete in really good shape. And the same seller that has bags for the N64 has some for Game Boy Advance and Game Boy, so I'm going to have to grab a few of those. But excellent condition, and I've almost completed my Alpha collection with this. Let's see here. All right, this is the 3DO game I recorded gameplay footage of. I haven't put it up yet. I used to have just a disc-only copy of this, but I got it with the manual now. I really like this artwork. I wanted the long box version of this art, but I just can't find it. I found it last year, but it was like 80 bucks, and I haven't seen it since. Well, I haven't checked a lot, but when I do off and on, I only see the jewel case version. And when I bought this one, this was the only jewel case version with the checkerboard case front, I should say. A lot of times it's just Akuma, but I really enjoy this art. Probably my favorite piece from any Street Fighter. But really good conversion. Unfortunately, my PlayStation 1 controller adapter works as the typical 3DO controller. What I mean is, it's actually, oh darn, it's too far to reach, but I have the adapter right here. It's a joypad converter. The problem is, instead of reading it as one of the 6-button controllers, I still have to hit the select or start button for one of the punches or kicks, and that's really frustrating. I was hoping it would recognize all the buttons, but it doesn't, so it still makes Street Fighter a pain to play. But at least the directional pad on the DualShock is much, much better than the 3DO one. Speaking of Street Fighter, this bad boy was $13 shipped. I'm getting really close to completing the Alpha set, like I said. I'm only really missing Alpha 3 for the Saturn. I have Alpha 1 import on the way, so I'm not going to get the arcade games because I don't have a super gun. Kind of wish I did, but I don't. But I am only missing Alpha 3 for the Saturn. And that is expensive. In auction, it goes for about $120 to $140. Buy it now is about $180, and I don't have that right now, so I'm just waiting. Work seems to be picking up. I work with a company that's got this strange chemical that breaks down other elements, and you can reuse it. So essentially, if at an industrial plant, if someone's running oil or whatever through a pipe and it gets kind of clogged up over time, you flush this chemical in and you can extract like 80% of whatever the base chemical was, say ingredient, say it's oil, and the rest is waste. And now I think they only average about 13% of reusable liquids. So that's starting to catch on, and if it does, more work for me. If it does, then I will have my eye on Alpha 3 for the Saturn. But this is, if you have a PlayStation, it's a good enough conversion. You can get a better one with the Anthology on PlayStation 2, but 13 bucks, and I wanted to get the set. I'll be putting footage of that up when I grab the old PlayStation 1. And moving to more PlayStation 1, I grabbed this for 11 bucks. This is basically Toshinden Kids, how there was Virtua Fighter Kids. So, see if you can see the art there. Basically, big-headed little kids from Toshinden fighting. Still sealed for 11, so I figured why not. What I've been doing is, with Christmas coming up, I'm buying gifts, and when I'm doing, I'm at one of the sites, I'll kind of look around for myself and grab one. Why not go with that cheaper shipping? An older title I picked up was BattleTech. This was $11.80. Now, that's about the going rate for this, and you can see there's some fading here on the corner, and it doesn't come with the manual. And normally I would never do this, but why I did it, aside from the fact that I wanted the game, when I was younger, me and a friend, I guess you could say from middle school. That's what it is. Well, I guess you could say we graduated. Like they had a little assembly and you went to a dance or whatever. But I had rented this beforehand. So that night he came back to my house for our first day of summer and we played this all night. And I saw him the other day. He brought over his newborn. And I thought, like all my memories of me and him hanging out when we were young. Because one of his kids is almost the age we were when we met. So I was like, oh man, so I start thinking of this. So this is going to bring back some nostalgia. It already is. It's a little isometric action game with mechs. You can get it for about 10 to 14. Why I bought this one without the manual is because it came with the manual for Shining Force 2. This alone is if you try to get Genesis manuals, good luck. There's like one or two of these up separately for 16 to 20 some odd dollars. And so I can get a really good version of this complete for about 15 if I want it. Every now and then I'll see a manual for this go up, kind of beat up, but for about 5. So I could just complete it that way or get a really nice version for, another 10, reuse the case for something else, save the art and give the game away. I like to gut things every now and then, but I'm going to try to piece together a Shining Force 2 out of different copies. So that's going to come in really handy. Let's see here. On the fighter theme, I should have shown this a little earlier. Fatal Fury Battle Archive 2 for the PlayStation 2. I mentioned before that Real Bout Special became one of my favorite fighters very quickly when I got it for the Saturn. And this has Real Bout Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special 1 and 2. It was like 17 still sealed. I've read the conversions are good. And so what I would like to do is film all the versions I have of these games and kind of put them back to back so people can compare. So this is the first auction item I've gotten from the UK. Not terribly pleased with it, but sometimes good, sometimes bad, and that's Darius 2. The import of this from Japan can go for a little bit, so I got it about a little cheaper than I would have had I got the Japanese import. But why I wanted this is it's the only game I've gotten that is a release that was in PAL or Europe and Asia, but not the US. So I thought that was pretty neat. I would like to play it with English, of course. I've read there's only one little hiccup for playing it on TVs over here, and that's some text cuts off at the beginning. The cases are smaller, so I had to use some padding when I put it in this protective shell. It came a bit beat up. It's hard to see, but because this is kind of a cardboardish front, there's this bend. I don't know how they even bent this, because it's a bend all the way down to here. There's some indentions here, like a pencil or something hit it, or like a corner. But from what I understand of these cases, these are very delicate, and that's just what happens to them. But I wanted part 2 not released here, and yeah, glad to grab it. Took a long time to get here. The guy waited something like 7 days before he even sent it. I've never had someone wait that long. Let's see. I'll save the larger item for last because that's kind of a milestone for me. Okay, this is second to last item. And I was looking at GameSack's mech video, and the comments kept mentioning Techromancer. And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was so expensive. It was $80, something like Project Justice price. But a guy had the PAL version. He's in the U.S., had the PAL version for $25 shipped. So he said it was still sealed, and sure enough, $25 for a sealed copy of Techromancer for the Dreamcast. I looked it up, and this should not have any problems playing on my TV. And even if it did, I read that it supports the VGA adapter, even though it doesn't say it, and that should force the signal to play perfectly fine on my set, and I have a VGA box right there. So I am good to go. I'm really excited about that. I thought that was going to be another one. I was just going to have to wait, but $25 sealed and shipped, sir, you have a deal. Yesterday, I went to GameStop, which is always a pain in the ass. Crack and Sporadic Spacebar wanted me to look for some games for them, and of course they didn't have them. And of course I had to sit through an insanely long sales thing because they now sell a credit card, and there was a woman in front of me who, for God knows why, agreed to that. But at the end, it was so sad. She gets the credit card. He goes through this stupid long process. The line's forming. He's trying to sell her used tablets, all this crap. After he finishes kind of showing her the receipt and her credit card number, gives her little details, he goes, "Okay, here's your credit card. Power to the player." It was like his soul had been sucked out. Like he knew he had to say it, but his will to live was just gone. It was the most limp thing I've ever heard. Here you go. hire the player. But then he quickly annoyed me again by not shutting up, trying to get me the credit card and insurance and there's a rewards program, and you tell them no, and they just do not care. It's on and on and on and on. But I put up with that for 2 games. This says $4.99, but it was $2.99. Excite Truck. I read a lot of good things about this. The case is beat up, but I'll replace it. So that was $2.99. And Wartech, Crack said this was a lot of fun despite the terrible cover. This was also $2.99. So for $6, I got these two. I'm really looking forward to trying them out. I saw Excite Truck on another video of great, like, underrated racers. And, you know, I don't play my Wii a lot, but hey, $2.99, I will give it a shot. They both come complete and in surprisingly good condition. Also, if you're in the mood for some games, they have a lot of them they're just dumping right now. And in really good shape, too. I saw Uncharted 3 for, I think it was $5. Gears of War 3 for $5. Dead Island, for the first one, for $5. A lot of Mass Effect 3s for $5, and all of these were complete mint. It looked like they just took them off the shelf, took the cellophane off, and threw them on there. So if you want to put up with their salesman crap, you can get some pretty good deals. And finally, this is a biggie. This pretty much caps off my Sega Saturn US collection, and that's Burning Rangers. This guy had this for sale about 50 to 60 off the regular price, and it just keeps going up in price. I've read mixed things. Some people love it. Other people said it's not worth the money. I have found with a few of the Saturn games I bought that are in the $50 to $60 range, I could have probably gone without, but I can't really try otherwise. So I went ahead and got them, and picked this one up. There are a few mid-tier Saturn games I do not have, like Marvel Superheroes. I have it for import, but I don't have the US version. House of the Dead, that's the last biggie. I'm skipping that. I really didn't like the port I have. I have an import copy, unless I see it cheap, which I won't because it goes for $150 to $200 now. But this is pretty much it. You know, there's, like I said, a few mid-tier titles I like, but I have all the biggies, and this was the last biggie I was waiting on, and I'm going to be cracking this one open soon. But that's kind of the last of the catch-up. All this has been scattered around my house, and it's been, you know, some of the stuff's been ordered for months, and I just got them in. I have 2 things that should come in this week. They've been stuck in customs, one 3 weeks, one 4 weeks, and that's just in customs either over here in Japan. They've been in transit for over a month. All that should be coming in this week. So I'm going to do that with a new system video. I'll do a live unboxing or whatever with it. But that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, if you want to see gameplay footage of any of this, let me know. And I'll be putting up some more 3DO stuff soon. If you stuck for, wow, 17 minutes. Okay, well, if you stuck for all that, thanks a lot, and I will talk to everyone later.